Betrayal, this word used to be far away from me. I never imagined that in the best moment of my life, I would experience such a painful betrayal. But I'm going to start at the beginning, because only then can you truly understand my story. My name is Alex. I'm a 34-year-old successful software engineer and a member of the National Guard. 11 years ago, I met Emily at a friend's party. She was a talented graphic designer with a bright smile and an outgoing personality. We fell in love at first sight. During the years we have been in love with Emily, we have grown together and supported each other. With my own hard work, I was promoted step by step, from an ordinary programmer to the company's technical backbone. Emily's career is also flourishing. Her design works frequently won awards, and she has become a hot designer in the industry. Our lives are getting better. Together, we have developed healthy habits, waking up early to exercise and eating a nutritious diet. We traveled together and explored the wonders of the world. We bought our dream house, decorated it, and made it into a cozy love nest. More importantly, we have a common dream: to start a happy family. We discussed this topic frequently and planned for the future. We decided to work for a few more years, and when our careers became more stable and our finances were better off, we would welcome our baby together. To this end, we started learning about childcare in advance and stocked up on all the necessities for raising a child. As I look back over the past 11 years, I can see how far Emily and I have come together. I am so proud of our relationship and our careers. I was confident that the future would only get better and that Emily and I would realize our dream of having a happy family. However, just when I was full of hope for the future, a sudden change completely shattered my originally peaceful and beautiful life. It was a kind of pain I had never imagined, an unspeakable betrayal. But before I tell you this story, I want to let you know about my past with Emily, because only then can you truly understand how hard this betrayal hit me. Just as I was looking forward to the future, an unexpected assignment disrupted the rhythm of my life. As a member of the National Guard, I was sent overseas for a 6-month assignment. That meant I would be separated from Emily for an extended period of time. At first, we were able to keep up frequent video calls and messages, and Emily was always excited to share her work progress and life stories. But as time went by, I gradually realized that she was not as eager to communicate with me as she used to be. She started to work late, and sometimes even missed video calls. I remember one time, I had a hard time making an appointment with her for a video call, but she ended the call in a hurry because she was too busy with her work. This is a far cry from the old her, who would always find time to chat with me, no matter how busy she was at work. Another change that perplexed me was that Emily started to socialize enthusiastically. She frequently posted pictures on social media of herself at various gatherings and parties. There was nothing wrong with this, but strangely, she never mentioned me in her photos, as if she was trying to hide my presence. My instincts told me that something was wrong, but I tried to convince myself that maybe it was just separation anxiety. Until one day, a chance discovery broke my luck. It was a late night, and I was having trouble sleeping due to jet lag. Out of boredom, I browsed Emily's social media pages. Suddenly, a photo caught my attention. In the photo, Emily was hugging a strange man with a happy smile on their faces. I felt a wave of dizziness and couldn't believe my eyes. With trembling hands, I zoomed in on the man's face. It was Jake, our neighbor, a married man and appliance repairman, who Emily had mentioned many times as the man who fixed her washer and dryer. At one time, my mind flashed through countless images. Emily's frequent excuses for working overtime, the video call she missed, the photos on social media that deliberately avoided my existence. Kinds of clues subconsciously ignored by me selectively, but at this moment it is incredibly clear that points to a heartbreaking fact. My heart was filled with pain and anger. I felt cheated and betrayed. Years of affection and trust had been trampled on mercilessly. At the same time, I wondered how I would cope with this sudden shock. How should I handle my relationship with Emily? During that sleepless night, I tossed and turned with images of Emily and Jake together in my head. I felt sad and angry at the same time. I knew that I had to calm down and think rationally about what to do next. But at the moment, my heart was so broken that I didn't know how to face this cruel reality. When I found out that Emily was cheating on me, I was in deep pain and struggle. During the lonely nights serving overseas, I thought over and over again about our relationship, our past, and our future. My heart was full of contradictions and struggles. On the one hand, I couldn't accept Emily's betrayal, and I felt angry and hurt. On the other hand, I didn't want to give up the marriage so easily. After all, we have been together for so many years. Can we give up our relationship just like that? But every time I saw the picture of her and Jake in an intimate embrace, reality was like a pot of cold water that mercilessly doused my fantasies. I knew that I had to find out the truth, and I couldn't keep fooling myself. I decided to use every resource at my disposal to find evidence of Emily's infidelity. I started scrutinizing her social media, hoping to find more clues about her time with Jake. Sure enough, in one of her private albums, I found more intimate photos of them together. Without exception, these photos confirmed my suspicions. I also took a sneak peek at her credit card statements. To my heartbreak, I found some suspicious expenses: expensive restaurants, luxury hotels, and some couple suites. These are all places that we have been together, or have longed for. Now, she is sharing these romantic moments with other men. To add insult to injury, I found out that Emily was pregnant. In her browsing history, I saw that she searched a lot of information about pregnancy. The last time we were intimate before we parted was more than 6 months ago. This baby, obviously, can't be mine. I couldn't lie to myself any longer when I was faced with the hard truth that Emily had betrayed our marriage and had someone else's child. This double betrayal made me feel extremely sad and angry. I felt like my whole world had collapsed, and I didn't know how to face this cruel reality. After getting this evidence, I was tempted to call Emily and ask her to explain it all. But in the end, I refrained. I knew I had to calm down and rationalize my next move. These discoveries made me seriously consider the possibility of divorce. I could no longer lie to myself that our marriage was irreparably fractured. But at the same time, I knew what a divorce would mean. It would be a long and painful process, and all the good memories we had would be lost. During these lonely nights, I felt more confused and helpless than ever before. I looked at the evidence over and over again, my heart filled with pain and resentment. I didn't understand why Emily did this to me and why our relationship had come to this point. But I knew I had to make a decision. I couldn't keep running away like this, no matter how hard it was ahead. I had to find the courage to face up to the harsh truth and fight for my own future. When I confirmed Emily's infidelity, I felt my world fall apart. I was in a state of confusion and pain that I had never experienced before. I knew that I had to talk to someone and ask for help, or I would be completely consumed by this negativity. The first person that comes to mind is my best friend Mike, a devout Catholic who has been my spiritual and emotional support. We have been close friends since college, and we talk about everything. I remember my voice trembling as I confided in Mike. I told him everything: Emily's estrangement, the intimate photos, the questionable credit card bills, and her pregnancy. Toward the end, I almost broke down and cried. Mike listened to me quietly without interrupting. When I finished, he gave me a big hug. At that moment, I felt a sense of security that I hadn't felt in a long time. Mike told me that he would support me unconditionally in whatever decision I made. He advised me not to rush into a decision, but to give myself some time to calm down and think about what I really wanted. He also shared some of the wisdom he learned in church. He said that every challenge God gives us has a special meaning. Perhaps this difficult time is an opportunity for me to re-examine my life. He encouraged me to have hope for the future because after the darkness, there is always light. Mike's words were very inspiring and comforting. I felt a lot more at peace after talking to him. Next, I decided to ask my mother for help. My mother is a strong and wise woman. After my father's death, she raised my brother and me on her own. Her love for us gave me the courage to face life's challenges. When I talked to my mother, she was as strong as ever, but I could see that underneath her tough exterior, there was also a hidden pain. I knew that as a mother, seeing her son go through such pain made her heart bleed. My mother told me that she understood how I felt and how torn and hesitant I was at the moment. She said that marriage is sacred, but if the foundation of the marriage has been completely destroyed, then it is not a wise choice to end it. She also told me to be honest with myself about whatever decision I made. She encouraged me to face reality bravely and not to run away from problems. She believed that with my character and wisdom, I would be able to get out of this predicament and find my own happiness. My mother's words gave me a sense of strength that I had never felt before. I realized that I was not alone because I had family and friends who loved me. Their support will be my greatest motivation to get out of the darkness. After talking to Mike and my mother, I felt a sense of clarity. Although the pain was still there, I knew that I was capable of dealing with it. I began to calm down and think hard about my next move. I realized that my marriage to Emily was irretrievably broken. Her betrayal had completely destroyed my trust in her. I couldn't and wouldn't lie to myself anymore. Despite the internal struggle, I knew that divorce was probably the best option. Only by ending this unhealthy relationship would I have a chance to start over and find true happiness. After a long internal struggle, I finally made a difficult but necessary decision. I was going to divorce Emily. The marriage had completely broken down, and I could no longer fool myself into continuing this sham of a relationship. I know that divorce is not just an emotional break, but also involves a complex legal process and division of assets. To ensure that my rights and interests are not jeopardized, I decided to hire an experienced divorce attorney. In my meeting with my attorney, I described in detail Emily's infidelity and all the evidence I had. The lawyer told me that based on this evidence, I had a good chance of getting a favorable outcome in court. We began to prepare for the divorce proceedings. I provided key evidence such as photos of Emily cheating on me, credit card bills, pregnancy tests, etc., and my attorney helped me draft a detailed complaint. We have also set out clear requirements for the division of property. I asked for the property we had purchased together, as well as all of my personal savings and investments, which were the result of my years of hard work. For Emily, I decided to leave her only a small portion of the property as compensation for her years of family commitment. However, all of her misdeeds during the marriage must be reflected in the division of property. In addition to the legal proceedings, I had a detailed plan for revenge. I decided that I would let everyone know who Emily really was and make her suffer for betraying me. I planned to expose Emily's cheating behavior in front of all her friends and family on her birthday. I will present all the evidence and show her for what she is. I'm going to make her feel as ashamed and embarrassed in front of everyone as she made me feel. At the same time, I plan to write letters to Emily's parents and relatives detailing what she did. I want her family to know what kind of person their daughter and sister is. I want them to feel shocked and guilty that they married their daughter to me without teaching her the qualities of loyalty and respect. As for that Jake man, I won't let him go either. I will find his wife and tell her of her husband's infidelity. I'll make his family feel the same pain I'm feeling. At the top of my revenge list is making Emily pay. I will not tolerate such despicable behavior behind my back while I serve my country and dedicate myself to this family. She must pay for what she did, and the price will be huge. I realize that this plan may make me seem cruel and even unscrupulous, but I think it's a legitimate emotional outlet after such a traumatic experience. I hope that in this way, Emily will truly realize how unforgivable her actions are. To realize this plan, I began to make preparations. I secretly researched Jake's family and gathered their contact information. I made a list of all the guests to be invited and prepared all the evidence needed to reveal the truth. I even prepared a statement that I planned to read out on the spot after the revelation to show my stance and determination. During this process, I was actually suffering a lot inside. On the one hand, I was furious and hurt by Emily's betrayal, and I longed for vengeance and the punishment she deserved. But on the other hand, I also felt sad about our relationship. We were in love, we were together, we had a future together. And now, all of that will come to nothing. But I knew I had to stand by my decision, because it wasn't just about punishing Emily, it was about me. Only by breaking off this unhealthy relationship would I have a chance to start over and find true happiness. With the help of a lawyer, divorce proceedings were soon on the agenda, and my plan for revenge was in the final stages of preparation. I knew that a storm was coming, but this time, I was fully prepared to face this storm, to defend my dignity and rights. After careful planning and preparation, I chose Emily's birthday to carry out my revenge plan. I took a long vacation and returned home from overseas without telling Emily about my trip because I didn't want her to be prepared and on guard. On the plane, I rehearsed the details of the plan in my head over and over again to make sure everything was in order. Emily's birthday party was held as scheduled. I showed up at the party as the mystery guest to surprise everyone, and when Emily saw me, she had a mixed look of joy and confusion on her face. She obviously didn't expect me to show up. Amidst the cheers and well wishes, Emily began to open her birthday presents. When she opened this special gift I prepared, her expression instantly froze. It was a photo album full of intimate photos of her and Jake, and all kinds of evidence of her cheating, including hotel room records, intimate text message screenshots, and so on. Everyone in the room saw the photos in the album, and for a moment, the room was silent. Emily's face instantly turned pale. Her hands began to tremble uncontrollably, and she couldn't control the tears that flowed down. I walked up to Emily and calmly said, "As you can see, this is the truth, Emily. While I was serving my country and dedicating myself to this family, you chose to betray our marriage and my love and trust in you. Not only did you have an illicit relationship with Jake, you were even pregnant with his child. Now, it's time to pay for your behavior." Emily hurriedly stood up, looked at me with tearful eyes, and began to plead uncontrollably. She said she knew she was wrong and begged me to give her another chance. She said she could cut ties with Jake right away, or even terminate the pregnancy, but only asked me to forgive her. But my mind was made up and I wasn't budging. I told Emily that her betrayal had destroyed my trust in her and that there was no way we could ever be together again. I said that the reason I chose to reveal the truth on her birthday was to make her remember this lesson forever. I wanted her to feel as humiliated and defeated in front of her friends and family as she had made me feel the pain of betrayal. I formally asked Emily for a divorce in front of everyone. I told her that I had consulted a lawyer and that our marriage had come to an end. I would file for divorce in the near future, and our marriage would be over. Emily broke down and sat on the floor, sobbing uncontrollably. The people around her looked at her with sympathy, disdain, whispers, and murmurs. But no one came to comfort her because everyone knew that she had made an unforgivable mistake. After announcing my decision to divorce, I turned around and left the party. Before I left a letter that I had prepared and sent to everyone there. In the letter, I detailed Emily's betrayal and how I found out about it. In this way, I wanted everyone to know the truth and Emily to lose face in front of her friends and family. I left the party feeling relieved. The revenge plan that had kept me tossing and turning all night had finally been realized. I know I hurt Emily and I hurt myself, but it was a choice I had to make, because only in this way I can really end this unfortunate marriage and start a new life. In the coming days, I will officially start divorce proceedings. I know it's going to be a long, hard battle, but I am fully prepared. I believe that under the fair judgment of the law, I will be able to defend my rights and get the compensation I deserve. After publicly exposing Emily's infidelity at her birthday party, I officially started divorce proceedings. I met with my attorney again in detail to discuss the details of the divorce. I provided my attorney with all the evidence of Emily's infidelity, including photographs, credit card bills, hotel records, and proof of Emily's pregnancy. The attorney scrutinized the evidence and felt that it was sufficient to prove Emily's guilt in court. However, he also reminded me that under most U.S. laws, adultery does not materially affect the division of property. We discussed the division of property at length. Our joint property consisted of a property valued at $1.5 million, two automobiles valued at a total of $100,000, and bank deposits and investments totaling approximately $500,000. The attorney told me that, although Emily's infidelity was egregious, by law we could not claim moral damages for it, nor could we receive additional benefits in the division of property. The lawyer advised me that we should divide the property in a fair and equitable manner. He said that we should determine the percentage of division based on our respective incomes, contributions, and future needs. On the advice of our attorney, we came up with a more equitable division plan. We decided to sell the property and divide the proceeds equally. Bank deposits and investments would also be divided in proportion to their respective contributions. As for the cars, we would each keep one. While the divorce proceedings were moving forward, I had one last conversation with Emily. We met in his office, arranged by his attorney. I expressed my disappointment and pain to Emily. I told her that her infidelity had completely destroyed my trust in her and our marriage. But I also said that I would not use her status as a single mother to gain additional benefits in the division of property, because that would be unfair. Emily thanked me for those words. She said that although our marriage had come to an end, she was grateful that I had remained rational and fair in my final moments. She said she would do her best to raise the child independently. In the presence of a lawyer, we signed the divorce papers. At the moment of signing, our 10-year marriage came to an end. Throughout the process, my lawyer gave me a lot of professional and rational advice. He reminded me that divorce should not be a retaliation or punishment, but a process of resolving disputes in a fair and legal manner. His advice helped me to avoid many emotional decisions and finally reach a relatively fair outcome. After signing the divorce agreement, I felt both relief and loss. I was glad that at the last moment, I was not blinded by hatred and resentment, but chose a civilized and lawful way to end the marriage. But at the same time, I cannot help but feel sad and sorry for this dead relationship. As the legal process progressed, I gradually began to reflect on my role in the marriage. I realized that although Emily's infidelity was the direct cause of the breakdown of the marriage, the problems between us had been there for a long time. Neither of us had done everything we should have done to maintain the relationship, and this was something I needed to review deeply. After the divorce papers were signed, I thought this painful experience was over and I could start a new life. But I soon realized that things were not that simple. When Emily's family found out about our divorce, they attacked me violently. They believed that I was not considerate and accommodating enough, which led to Emily's infidelity. They accused me of being too harsh in the division of property and not taking into account Emily's plight as a single mother. Emily's mother even called me directly, hysterically accusing me of being a cold-blooded, heartless man who would abandon his wife and children for money. She threatened to discredit me in every social setting and to make me irrelevant in society. In the face of these accusations and misunderstandings, I chose to scoff and simply ignore their irrational behavior. As far as I was concerned, I did right by everyone. As a member of the National Guard, I have served my country in defense of its security. Even while serving overseas, I was always mindful of my duty and did my best to accomplish my mission. I am proud of my military career and I know that I have served this country well. As Emily's husband, I have never let up on my dedication to our marriage, despite the fact that we are not together as much as we could be due to our overseas service. I always thought of Emily and gave her the best support and care I could. Even when I finally found out about her infidelity, I didn't choose to retaliate with violence or insults, but rather defended my rights through legal means. I have a clear conscience. I can afford Emily. But Emily and her family clearly don't see it that way. They saw Emily as a single mother and ignored the fact that she was unfaithful. They only cared about the division of assets, but not the underlying reasons for the breakdown of the marriage. They accused me of being selfish and cold, but never put themselves in my shoes. I decided not to bother myself with these unfounded accusations and misunderstandings. I know that in this world, there will always be people who, no matter how well you do, are not willing to recognize your efforts and dedication. Instead of spending your time trying to convince them, you should focus on the things that really matter. I went back to work and achieved more in my career. I also restarted my social life and made a lot of like-minded friends. I started to try new hobbies and explore more possibilities in life. Gradually, I realized that there are still a lot of beautiful things in life waiting for me to discover and enjoy. I am no longer bound by the pain of the past, but embrace the future with a new attitude. Now, when I look back on this experience, I have no resentment and no regrets. I am glad that I have the courage to face the challenges of life and the wisdom to solve the difficulties of life. This experience has made me realize more clearly what I want and has taught me how to love myself better. Today, I am sharing this story because I want to give some insight to those who are going through or will be going through a similar situation. I want to tell you that the setbacks and tribulations in life are actually opportunities for us to grow. When we face them bravely, accept them openly, and resolve them positively, we will be able to gain wisdom in adversity and find strength in suffering. Remember, No matter how hard life gets, don't doubt yourself, because you are much stronger than you think. As long as you always adhere to their own principles, always stand up to their own hearts, you will be able to get out of the quagmire of life, ushering in a better future for you. Thank you for taking the time to listen to today's story. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you have a story to share about your own or someone else's experience, please feel free to contact me. Take care.